And we are live.
We are live. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the month of September, which is my favorite month of the year.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. Well, it was because almost 43 years ago, my parents or my mother gave birth to me, brought me into this amazing world. So it's my birthday month, just in case you guys haven't guessed, but we want to welcome you to Chit Chat with the Journey Sisters. And I am so excited to be here today. I'm excited, super excited, because this is what we're almost coming up to 1 year, right, Alicia?
Yes, it is. We have just
Wow!
1 month to go. I know,
I
right?
know. I cannot believe that it's almost 1 year already. But I'm
Mhm.
excited today for so many reasons. Of course, it's my birthday month. It's my birthday. I'm going to be talking about that all through the show.
I
But I'm
can actually.
excited. I'm excited because you're here too, Alicia. But I am
Mhm.
super excited because we have a special guest with us today, all the way from the 242, Miss Latanya Maynard. Miss Know Your
Welcome,
Worth
welcome.
is in the house. Miss Latanya, say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I am so excited to be here today with the Journey Sisters.
And
Awesome, awesome,
welcome, welcome.
awesome. Welcome. And of course, I have the host of this amazing show, Miss Alicia Alexander, Miss Forgiveness Coach.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.
And me, I'm Janelle, and it's my birthday month, guys. My birthday is September the 18th, blah, blah, blah. It's the highlight of my life, guys. What would the world be if I was not born? But anyway, I want to just let you know a little bit about who I am, and Elise is going to tell you about who she is. But I want our guest, Miss Latanya Maynard, to take this moment to let the world know, let social media know, Latanya, who are you? Who is Latanya Maynard?
Hello, everybody. Again, my name is Latanya Renee Maynard. I'm also known as Miss Know Your Worth. I am also known as the Bahamian Beauty. Hoo-hoo. I am a native of Eleuthera, Bahamas. I am a purpose pusher. I am a motivational speaker. I am a Know Your Worth life coach. I am the author of two lovely books. The first one is called All Hope is Not Lost, and it is my story, my autobiography. And then I have another book, and it's called Pushing Toward Purpose. And in that book, I kind of have questions where you can just stimulate your mind and write down different things, and then pertaining to your life and your purpose. And then I'm writing two more books. I'm hoping to have them completed by the end of this year because I want to bust into 2022. I want to bust
Welcome.
into 2022. um Also, I am a business owner of Know Your Worth Apparel and the founder of Know Your Worth Ministries. I am the mother of a 12-year-old son, soon to be 13. So I'll have a teenager in the household very soon. And lastly, I have to let you know this. I am the daughter of our Creator. And guess who that is? Our Lord God Jesus. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. That was an earful.
I
Look
know,
at how
right?
many hats she wears, eh?
So many hats. Well, Alicia, you go ahead and introduce yourself, honey.
Well, I am Alicia Alexander, as you guys are familiar with. I am your forgiveness coach. I am CEO of She Forgave, CEO of Safely in His Hands Food Ministry. But what I'm most passionate about is the She Forgives ministry, where I work with individuals who have been through things, who think that they don't have a voice. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to let you know that it is not your fault. You're not to be blamed. And more importantly, is that you're not alone.
Mhm.
There are other individuals who've been in your shoe who are going through it. And just to let you know, I am your voice. We are all your voice, and we're here on a journey together. So I'm your
Mhm.
forgiveness coach.
All right. Well, you guys both make me feel like, I don't know, you make me feel. Anyway, let me let the world know who I am. I got to add all sorts of stuff to compete with Alicia and Latanya. But my name is Janelle, and I am also from Eleuthera, Bahamas, and I am your life fulfillment coach. One of the things that I am very passionate about, I am passionate about helping people find their purpose and bringing their vision into fruition. I am an activator. I help you get activated to start walking and living in your purpose. I believe that if we understand who we are, and we know whose we are, and we get an excitement about where we're going, and we know how to get there, then I believe that we can be the best versions of ourselves, and we can serve humanity to the greatest capacity ever. So, of course, I am an author. I am an international recording artist, and it's my birthday, September 18th. I don't know if I let you guys know before, but my birthday is coming up in a couple of weeks. And
Happy birthday, Janelle.
what I'm most excited about, I'm excited that on September 18th, God has given me this amazing opportunity to give birth to a vision that I've been carrying for 9 months. We know that September is the ninth month, and Monday is Labor Day. So I'm getting ready to push this vision baby out of there, out for the whole world to see. I'm going to be releasing my second book, Emerge, the Remaking of Me. I'm also going to release my music videos and my two singles, Nobody Greater and Beautiful Black Woman. So I am super excited about what God is doing in my life and in Latanya's life and in Alicia's life. So there you have it. We are three qualified women. We've been through stuff, and now we tell others our story and we help them and whatever they're going through today. So, our topic today is, what is it, Alicia?
It is necessary. It is
It
necessary.
is necessary.
It
It is
is
necessary.
necessary.
Well, this is a deep topic, and I hope you guys are ready for the ride because I'm gonna take you some places you ain't never been before. And I
Mhm.
promise you, Latanya has a story. We all have a story, but I'm always encouraged and inspired by what she's been through and how it was necessary for us to go through that process in order for us to be on this side to help someone else that's going through. You know, a
Mhm.
lot of times the things that you go through when you're going through it, you say, oh my God, why me? Oh my God, I mean, oh me, oh my. And we have this pity party like, God, you forgot about me. You don't know this one did this to me. And we just go through this phase of darkness. But I want you to know that no matter what pain you've experienced, I want you to know that it is necessary. Because a lot of times what you've been through has nothing to do with you. Yeah, I said it has nothing to do with you, but it has to do with your destiny and the person that God has you to bless. So I'm going to open up the floor, Miss Alicia and Miss Latanya. The topic today is, it is necessary. What does that mean to you, Alicia?
Well, I'm going to start by saying, I had a question this week when I mentioned this program, Chit Chat. And Chit Chat was brought to me through a vision. I had COVID last year, and I was sick, like Jana, for months.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm not going to fret over this. I'm not about to die because you made a promise to me. And you did not give me a child to take me away as yet. So I had a conversation with, I don't know if it was a conversation, but I had an argument with God. And I was going back and forth. He wasn't answering, he was just listening.
Mhm.
And at the end of the conversation, I have a chair in my room, and that's his seat. And I would say, have a seat because we need to talk because something not right here. You didn't bring me this far, put me through all this to take me away. Something
Mhm.
is not, I know I have work to do. So Tell me what is it that you have in mind for me. Tell me what is it that you want me to do. 'Cause it has to be something. This cannot be it. I
Mhm.
lost a lot of weight. I don't know if somebody came in when I wasn't here and put extra stairs in my house because the stairs seemed that like they got twice as long because it was so hard to climb these stairs.
Mhm.
But I knew it was something I had to do. And chit chat with the Journey Sisters came to mind. And I started this program being an introvert, not knowing how to speak in public, because
Mhm.
that has been a struggle of mine.
Mhm.
And I mentioned my program to someone this week, and they said to me, "Do you think it's necessary? Do you think that you're saying to people what they don't know already? Do you
Mhm.
think it's something that's even worth it?"
Hmm.
Mm. Mm.
And I thought to myself, that was a vision that was given to me.
Hello.
So there has to be some sort of necessity in it.
Mhm.
There has to be a reason. And
Mhm.
based on the feedback and the support that we have received, it is necessary.
It is.
It is necessary. It's a beautiful world, it's a wide world, and there's more than enough space for us. But not everybody knows what they should know.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Not all of us are on the same page, so it is necessary. But Janelle, I like to go way back. So, growing
Oh
up as
Lord.
children,
Here we go.
we take things for granted
Mhm.
that we have a home, we have somewhere to live, we have food, we have clothes, we have no care in the world. And I don't know at what stage do we learn the word necessity,
Mhm.
needs, want, but at some point in time, it came up. Whether because we saw somebody with something that we thought that was better than ours, or something that we saw somebody with that we thought was something we should have. I remember the first time, it might have been other times, but I remember the first time the word necessity came to my mind
Mhm.
was when I had a beautiful home,
Mhm.
loving family. But when I visited, I think it was my godmother, this was the first time I can remember going to someone's house that was made of brick. They had brick everywhere. They had an eating kitchen. They had a brick veranda.
Hmm.
And I thought, wow, people live like that. And but at the same time, I was comfortable with what I had at home.
Mhm.
And I thought to myself, is it necessary to have this luxury?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. That's my first really remember of the word necessary. And when I think about it, over the years, you learn what the word necessary mean, wants, needs. And I went through life looking at the entire picture of the way my childhood was, the situations I've been through, my marriage, having children, job choices, moving from state to state. And I realized that we are all victims.
Mhm.
Hmm.
We might, whenever you heard the word victim, people automatically think that it's something tragic.
Mhm.
But it is not a tragic event. It does always have to be a tragic event.
Mhm.
We are all victims of some sort of circumstances. It could be you're a victim of society, you're
Mhm.
a victim of your own success,
Mhm.
you're a victim of your circumstances, of your
Mhm.
demise.
Mhm.
We're a victim of our environment.
Mhm.
And a lot of us go through life living in these stages or these phases, just thinking that's how it should be. And never actually taking the time to realize one, we're victim, two, we're survivors, and three, we're thrivers.
Mhm.
And not only that, we have gone through these stages. Some people haven't been through all these stages, but all of us, in my opinion, have been victims. Because being victims, it helped shape the way we are.
Mhm.
And if we don't take the time to actually look at our surrounding, look at the situation that we've been through, we just live life.
Mhm.
And at 60, 70, 80, when there isn't much more for us to do, if we make it to that age.
Mhm.
Because, and the reason why I'm saying it, because I'm not that age yet, because I've seen it. You sit
Mhm.
back and say, what did I accomplish?
Mm.
Was it necessary going through certain situations and not addressing certain things? And I've learned that it is necessary to take care of me. It is necessary to love me. It is necessary to address those situations or take the necessary steps to live life, to love life. Right, Janelle?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
It is necessary
Oh my
to not
God.
go through life. And yes, we're humans. Yes, this was purpose for us.
Mhm.
But there is a lesson in it. And a lot of us miss the lesson because we ask the question if it's necessary. But we
Mhm.
need to stop asking the question and make that statement. It is
It's
necessary to take
necessary.
care of us.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. Alicia, that's really, really, really good. Um, I want to hear from you, Latanya. I know you've been through stuff. Just let us know a little
Yes.
bit about what you've been through and how it relates to this topic today. It
Mhm.
is necessary.
Absolutely. I want to first start off by saying, by sharing with the audience, about, Know Your Worth Ministries. Know Your Worth Ministries was birthed in 2016 as a result of my personal story. And I was sharing this earlier with Alicia that I am a victim of domestic violence. Well, I am a survivor, that is.
Mhm.
I was a victim of domestic violence. I grew up in a home where domestic violence was prevalent, very prevalent. I grew up around it. And then after seeing those things, I became a victim of it. Um, but Know Your Worth Ministries was birthed out of necessity. And that's
Yes,
why I love this topic so much, necessity and obscurity. Okay. I use the word obscurity because many people do not understand the reason why you do what you do, you know? And I heard Alicia saying earlier, someone was saying to her, was it necessary for her to birth this show? Let me say this. I don't know who need to hear this today, but you're gonna hear it. When God give you a vision, he didn't have a conference call.
Mhm.
That vision is between you and him.
that's
you
right.
you don't need to void anything with the approval or um with the approval of others. Just do it. If God told you that he wants you to speak to people, that's what you need to do. You don't need to worry about who don't understand stuff. That ain't your prerogative of why they don't understand it.
Thank
You
you.
just
Thank
need to
you.
move. You just need
Thank
to
you.
move. You understand me? That's why a lot of us, I said this some years ago, people can become our problem.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Let me tell you why. Because a lot of us are stuck because of the voices of people. What people have said, oh, I don't know why she feel like she need to tell her business to the world. Listen, it's not about telling your business. It's about healing.
That's
Yes.
right.
And it's about helping others to heal. That's what it's about. And Elisa, you said so many things as I was sitting there and just thinking, you know what? I'm gonna die empty. You understand me? When the Lord decides that it's my time up here on this earth, ain't no one gonna have to figure out about what they're gonna say about me. It's gonna be already there to talk. The preacher, they ain't gonna have to guess about what can I say about Latanya Renee Maynard, because I would have already impacted the world so greatly. Because I'm gonna continue to be obedient with what God tells me to do. Because you know what? Obedience is better than sacrifices. And I can't worry about people and their thoughts about why I want to share my story of being a victim of DV, and why I got to put it all out there about being in bad relationships, and why I have to put it out there about not knowing my worth and letting people take advantage of me and trying to diminish my value and my worth of who I know God called me to be and the beautiful woman that God have me to be. So, um, I realized this a long time ago. Whether people understand or not, why you doing what you doing, you better be obedient and do it, because you know you're gonna miss God if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And these same people gonna be right where they at, and you're gonna regret it.
Come on now, Latanya. Just you said so many things. Even what I have written in my book about waiting for people to validate who God called you to be, waiting for people who do not qualify to
Mm,
validate you. See, I've learned that a long time ago. That baby, I don't need your opinion of me. I've got my own opinion of myself.
mm,
And I know who God says that I am.
mm,
So if you don't want to see all of this and all of the glory in my story, close your eyes when I pass by,
mm.
because I'm going to do what God asked me to do. I am going to say it, and I'm going to let the world know my story, my testimony. Because, see, let me tell you something. Those very people that use that vernacular, or, I don't know why you're just trying to tell everybody your story. They're jealous. I'm going to put it out there real flat, and I'm going to just let you know that they're jealous. I want you to know that along this journey of life, you're going to have some people. You're going to have some blue people. You're going to have some purple people, and you're going to have some red people or green people. And you're going to have people that talk about you on the sidelines, yapping, 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 chat, chat, chat. And then you're going to have some people that admire you, and then some people that are going to support you and push you into your purpose. And I want you to know that all of those combination of the three is necessary.
It is.
I
Yes.
love when people tell me that, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that. I love it because it fuels me, it gives me that challenge, and it says, okay, let me prove you wrong. Let me show you what's on the inside of me. Let me show you that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. I can do all things. And so, ladies, that's the whole point of Chit Chat with Journey Sisters. I mean, this could have only been a vision of Miss Alicia. And when she mentioned it to me, like, hey, I was like, okay, I don't need to know what's going to happen. And I'm in. Because, I like to talk anyway. I'm in. And I'm surprised that as long as I've been planning to release my podcast, I haven't. And this introvert has released hers before the extrovert. So I applaud you, Alicia, because I've watched you bloom from very reserved and shy and afraid and fear to stepping into your truth and being bold about telling your story. And I've also watched Latanya blossom. I mean, I was with her when she was writing her book, when she was telling her story. I mean, she and I have walked this journey. She know everything that I've been through. She know my life wrapped up in a bow. And so today we want to be transparent with people.
Mm,
This platform is about transparency, and it's about telling our truth.
mhm,
We're not just here saying, just want to tell you what we've been through, but the hopes of this is that when you come here, you get motivated, you get challenged to change. You say, you know what? If these ladies been through it, if you've been through sexual molestation, if you've been through abuse, I've been through mental abuse, if you've been through suicidal thoughts, if you've been
mm,
through it, then I want you to know today that you being here watching this show is not a coincidence. You are
mhm,
here on purpose because God wanted you to hear what we've got to say. There's so
mhm,
many of you that got books inside of you that you won't write because of what somebody else said. You got
mhm.
songs that you won't sing because of what somebody, to hell with what anybody else has to say. You know who God has called you to be, and that is all that matters. Miss Alicia, I don't
I,
think
Mhm.
you will have me back on the last episode, but just in case Alicia bans me from the show, guys, September 18th, my book is going to be released, my music. You're going to grab it on Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, and it's my birthday, September 18th. I just want to stick that in there in case she mutes my mic, guys, just in case, okay?
Daniela, I'm not going to mute you. One of the things I like about the fact that Janelle and I work well together, and in the
Mm,
guests that we have had on this program, is that we come from different backgrounds. As
mhm,
you can see, Janelle has all this energy, and on the other hand, I'm very reserved and laid back.
mhm,
And we have been through different circumstances, different situations, and our audience are individuals who have a wide variety of background as well. There are those who think, like Jana mentioned earlier, that she's confident, nobody can take this from her and she's ready. Me, on the other hand, at one point had the fear of the world. And there are those who have that fear. Even if they walk out, they step out looking like the most beautiful, everything intact, that fear has still crippled them. And so we don't want to come off as if, hey, you got this. This is the
Mm-hmm.
easiest thing to do. This is the easiest journey to go on. All you have to do is just, put it out. No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
The process.
It's a process. It's a journey. It's a task.
Mm-hmm.
It is stressful
Mm-hmm.
because I know for me, I struggle with even saying the word abuse.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with the word, but my concern is what others would think of me. I
Right.
was always
Mhm.
concerned of whatever, but I got to the point where I realized that it was necessary. It is necessary for my healing. And even if I heal, does it make sense for me to heal and not help somebody else?
Right. Jesus.
The purpose was for me to heal, to be more confident, to be willing to face the world knowing that, hey, I was created for a purpose,
Mm-hmm.
not what was said to me. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, how is that going to help me if I don't try to help somebody? So
Mm-hmm.
in my mind, in my situation, I thought it was necessary. It is necessary to
Mm-hmm.
tell my story,
Mm-hmm.
whether you want to hear it or not.
Mm.
You're not ever at any point in time going to reach everybody.
Right.
But if one person takes something away from it,
Mm.
takes some sort of comfort,
Mm-hmm.
has some sort of understanding, if you just touch a positive nerve in one person, you
Mm-hmm.
have already made a difference.
Yes.
And so for Miss Maynard, I know you mentioned that you were, I don't usually ask questions, it's usually a
Mm-hmm.
conversation. But I
Great.
just want to hear a little more as to, I know you say you were a victim of domestic violence,
Mm-hmm.
that you lived through it, that it
Mm-hmm.
was something that you saw I guess, on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
But at
Mm-hmm.
some point in time, you thought it was necessary to birth your ministry.
Mm-hmm.
But what is it that it took? At what point? What is it? Why you thought, well, I've seen it all my life. Why not keep living it? Why not pass it on to my son?
Mm-hmm. Well, when I got older, I realized that a lot of things that was occurring in my household was very toxic. I might not have realized it as a child, even as growing up as an adolescent, um, teenager. But when I became an adult, I realized that I lived in a very toxic home life, and in a very toxic surrounding. Now um in 2013, between 2013 and 14, I began writing my book. I always liked writing. Let me put that out there. I was writing from I was 5 years old. I would take a pen and a notepad and just write. So I always loved writing. Um, Between those years in 2013 and 2014, I said, you know what? Why don't I just, write a book and share my story? I think this would be necessary for me to share with the world the things I've been through. Because like you said, Alicia, your story might not reach everybody, but it's going to reach somebody. And this is a slogan I put out there just about a few days ago. Your story might not be for everyone, but please don't let it stop you from sharing it with the world. You know, so in 2014, I began writing. And at first, honestly, I was writing from a very bitter place.
Mm.
And God convicted me one day when I was in the bathroom and said that you need to stop for a minute and rewrite. So that's what I did. And in 2015, my first book was published. Now, I got a lot of criticism and backlash behind writing this book because I put very intimate details in there about, my family life. And a lot of people didn't think that it was necessary for me to do that. But
Mm.
can I tell you, that is why so many families are dysfunctional, because they want to keep every single thing as a secret. and nobody is getting the help that they need. And what they do is they create dysfunctional relationships. They don't see those things. And also I know I'm called to break generational curses in my bloodline. So with that being said, I couldn't worry about the backlash. You know what? Even Jesus got backlashes for performing
Mm-hmm.
miracles. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So who is me? I know I was good. And many times when you are trying to break generational curses in your bloodline, you are going to receive the most criticisms there is, and you're going to receive backlashes. So I already knew that with doing that, putting stuff out, that I was going to receive. But I that didn't matter because it was about me being healed. It wasn't about to embarrass no one. It's never about it. And I didn't call names. That's number one. I didn't call names in this book, but it was never about to embarrass. It was about to heal. To for my,
Mm-hmm.
it was for my self healing and also to heal others, because a lot of people, in spite of the criticisms that I received, a lot of people have been blessed and they're still being blessed
Mm-hmm.
from the things that I put in my book.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know what, Alicia, I gotta keep going forward. I just, I put it out there, and I'm gonna keep putting it out there until the day I leave this earth.
So what you ladies have just shared with us, um, so what you've gone through was necessary to bring you to the place where you are right now.
Yes.
How do we tell people that are watching this, that are in the midst of going through? See, we've been through, we've come out, and now we're showing others how to get through it. How do we tell them? What do we say to those right now that right in the midst of the fire, they're in the midst of the process? How do we encourage them that, hey, baby, when you come out of this, this is going, God is going to turn your ashes into beauty. He's going to turn your mourning into blessings and happiness and laughter. How do we encourage them, Alicia? How do we?
Janelle, first of all, we have to be transparent and be honest. And
Yes.
we have to let individuals know that it's not an overnight event. It
Yes.
is an ongoing process.
Hmm.
It is self-awareness, because I can come out and say, hey, but at some point I had to be aware of what I was in. I had to be aware of where I'm going, what I want. I had to learn me. One, I had to speak to my pain,
Hmm.
not just say I have pain and it hurts and I can't. I had to speak to it. And
Hmm.
sometimes you might seem crazy, but you have to literally speak to your pain. Walk around the house and say exactly what's taking place. And you have to say it's necessary to live deliberately. That was one of my first points, one of my breaking point, that it was necessary to live deliberately. And that means, I will have questions, and not all of my questions are going to have answers. And it's okay to have questions. It's okay to have doubts. But the fact is, I was conscious in knowing that there are questions,
Hmm.
there are doubts, there are fears that I have to face up to if I'm going to be successful. And successful doesn't mean that you have, the riches. Successful means that I had that joy. If I wanted that joy and I wanted that peace, I had to be deliberate about it. I had to be intentional about living deliberately. And the only way to be intentional about living deliberately, or to be intentional about living on purpose, or to be intentional to forgive, is to admit that it's necessary to do so.
Yes, that's good. What about you, Latanya? What do you say to that woman that's still in that abusive relationship? How do you help her press her way through and knowing that she does have a purpose and her pain has purpose and God's going to use what she's been through to get the glory? How do we encourage people like that?
Well, I would say that that woman or the women, that of course their pain has purpose, just like mine. All of our pain has a purpose. It's just whether you choose to share that pain, and when you choose to share that pain. And like Alicia said, it's a process. I'm not telling anyone that they have to share what they've been through immediately. You have to process that stuff. You got to go to therapy sometimes. I mean, and I would encourage therapy, because I've found that a lot of us, we weren't taught by our family to go to therapy, because it's looked at as taboo. It's looked at as telling your business and all of that, but all of that helps with healing. um I would say never be ashamed of your story, because it's your story. You might be ashamed in the beginning, but hey, it's your story. It happened. It was necessary, and you're gonna see the purpose behind it. And your story is someone's deliverance. Your
Yes.
story is someone's deliverance. I can say this. I'm pretty sure that the three of us, whatever we've been through, and also those who are maybe listening, whatever they've been through, it was necessary. Someone is going to be delivered by it.
You know, a
That's
lot of
it.
time,
That's what I would say.
a lot of time, Janelle, when I thought
Yeah.
about the abuse that I went through, and in my heart, I wanted to be different. I wanted everything to just disappear. I wanted to, well, it happened, but how can I go back to the life before it took place?
Mm-hmm.
What would it have been if it did not take place? And what I found myself doing was, rather than going with the flow, me not accepting, I found myself trying to force healing. And you cannot force healing. You
Mm-mm.
have to let it unfold. I also found myself fighting with dealing with the uncertainties, because I wasn't sure what direction this relationship was going to go in, what path I was going to take. I found myself in fear of the uncertainties and fighting with things that wasn't necessary. And when I got to the point where I realized, yes, I was abused, yes, it was unfortunate, but it happened for a reason. When I got to the point that I accepted that, it made a difference. And I said, it is necessary for me to go through that stage, because had I not gone through that and had that experience, where would I be? Would I have a story to tell? Would I be able to make a difference, not just in my immediate surrounding, but to anybody that I come in contact with? I probably would have had about 10 children by now, maybe three different husbands, you know, something just out of the norm. Because because it took place, I learned to keep to me. I learned to be more visual. So sometimes we go through these tragic situations, or we go through life, and we think that it's the worst thing ever. And I tell people, ask me, how can you talk about your sexual abuse like it's nothing? It is something. It's painful. It's
Mm-hmm.
hurtful. It took away my childhood, but it taught me some lessons. It opened my eyes. And so it's necessary. It's necessary to talk about it. It's necessary to have certain experience. However, God is in control. Not that He allowed it to happen. Don't know. Don't know. I can't speak on that part because I'm not an expert on that part. But He has your back, and trusted and guaranteed that He is going to see you through. And because you've been there, His
Absolutely.
purpose something in your heart.
Absolutely. So you ladies both you hit the nail right on the head. Alicia said you have to be transparent. You have to talk about it. And Latanya mentioned that you needed to have therapy. See, I want to say something that both of you touched on that is difficult to say, but it's truth. In the Black community, we have been taught that whatever happens in my house, it stays in my house. So no matter how you're hurting, no matter how you're choking and how you are suffocating, you have been conditioned mentally to not let anyone know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
you go through life with this whole facade on the outside that you are healed
Mm-hmm.
and that you're good. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care if you're saved. I don't care if you're speaking in tongues. I don't care if you're the bishop over the church. I don't care what position you hold in the body of Christ. If you don't confront some issues in your life, and if you don't get to the root of the problem, then you will be a walking, living zombie, and there's no way that you can truly fulfill your purpose. It will appear that you are fulfilling your purpose, but truthfully, you are not, because you have not addressed that thing that has you stagnated or has you in this arrested development. So, what am I saying, Jay? Now, what are you saying, birthday girl? What I'm saying is, if you had an event that happened in your life, let's just say you were 12 years old
Mm-hmm.
and your innocence got taken away from you. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times your life stops right there. And every decision you make in your life is based off of what happened to you when you were 12. So
Mm-hmm.
you married, you got a husband, but you still have never dealt with the elephant in the room that happened when you was 12 years old. And so every time you feel like you're making progress, that elephant pulls you right back to when you were
Yes.
12 years old. And if you don't deal with that, I'm telling you today, hear me by the Spirit. If you do not deal with that issue, your life will never progress. You will never have a successful life because the elephant in the room will take you right back to 15 years old. Oh, right back to 25 years old, whenever that event happened that changed your life. So, what did Alicia say? Alicia said, be transparent, admit that it happened. You cannot change the past. You can never change the past. Admit that it happened. Okay, it happened. What had happened was it happened. Okay?
Mhm.
And like Latanya said, open up your mouth and find somebody you can confide in. A therapist. I don't care if you got to pay for it, if you got to go to your medical insurance for it. Find someone that can get you the healing you need. You know why? If you don't do that, you're going to divorce Bob and marry Bill. You're going to divorce Bill and marry Peter. Then you're going to divorce Peter and marry John. But I could tell you, you may divorce John and marry Sandy. But what I'm trying to say to you is, if you don't find your identity and you don't deal with the elephant in the room, then all of your relationships will fail. All of it will come to naught, and you're going to be there saying, God, why? Oh God, I love her. Oh, I love him. And why could this never work for me? You know why? Because you are stuck emotionally. You're tied to what happened when you was 12 years old. And so what we're saying to each and every one of you today, you've got to one, be willing to admit that it happened. Be willing to admit that you hurt, honey. Be willing to admit that you feel the pain. And once you admit that, you say, God, listen, I need your help. I need you to help me get through this process. When you're in the oven and it's hot, it's hot. And like
Ah,
let's say, find somebody to talk to. So you
Right.
express yourself so that you can get an alignment and you can say, okay, yeah, I've been through that. And it hurt. But it's because of that I am who I am today. And I thank God for the
Absolutely.
strength to overcome.
mhm.
Alicia is an overcomer. Latanya is an overcomer. I can't imagine a man hitting me, Latanya. I can't imagine it.
Mm.
I've never been through that before. So when people talk about abuse, even sexual abuse, Alicia, you're able to talk to them on the level that I can't. Latanya, when people talk to you and you minister to people about being abused physically, being slapped or punched in the face, you can talk on the level that I can't because one of us would have been dead. I'm just saying somebody.
Yeah.
was going to jail. I don't know if it would have been me, but somebody was going to jail. But I'm just saying, I can't share that side of the story. But what I can share is the part where I had no confidence, the part where I lacked understanding who I was and lacked understanding my purpose, the part where I needed others to validate me for me to feel worthy. Like Latanya's ministry says, know your worth. For me being able to forgive those that hurt me. So, forgiveness coach, your purpose is needed. People need to learn how to forgive.
And
So,
I'm happy, Jana, that you touched the word forgive. And you know, I'm not going to end this broadcast without going there. I'm happy,
go
you know, a
there,
lot of
girl.
times people think that forgiveness, we heal different ways and we have different tools and different situation that brought us to that healing or brought us to that point where we thought it was necessary. And for me, that was forgiveness. You know, a lot of times people have myth about forgiveness that you're forgiving the person and you're expected to forget it, that you're forgiving the person and it excuse exactly what took place. It doesn't. And we also think that when you forgive, it is going to take you back to where the relationship was before. No, it's not.
Hmm.
It is a process. And I found that process necessary for me to have a voice today. I found that process necessary for me to take pictures and feel that I was beautiful in these pictures because I was always thought that I was ugly. I'm like, nobody wants to see you. Nobody's going to use you after I'm finished with you. And for me, forgiveness was that key. And what forgiveness was for me is that it took me from being a victim to being a thriver. It
Yes.
freed me. It gave me that voice. It gave me that strength. It gave me that confidence. And it's not even so much so confident that you feel like you have to be talking and you have to be in. It's a confidence that brought that peace, that joy, that I can sit there and I can listen to you say what you have to say. And because I have that peace, it doesn't even bother me. I could not watch movies where individuals were sexually abused. I could not sit in a room with a men sometimes have these habits, which I guess is common to most men or maybe all men. I couldn't sit in a room and listen to somebody chew because it would bring back memories. Janelle smiled about that because she know the fight that we have had. She'd be chewing. I'm like, stop chewing, Janelle. And sometimes we see people behave a certain way and have certain hiccups about things. We don't know what they've been through. And so for me, I know it's a process. It's something I had to go through. It's something I had to confront. And I realized that forgiveness was going to take me there. And
Mm-hmm.
it made me so much stronger. It made me a believer that I actually have a purpose. That it's for me. It cleared my mind. It cleared my body. It removed that cancerous lump that was in my
Mm-hmm.
chest. That I thought it was cancer, but it wasn't. It was just stress.
Mm-hmm.
It because it was affecting my health so much.
Mm.
So for each one of us, it might be something different, but we have to find a necessity in it. The necessity not just for others later on, but first of all, the necessity for us to open up, for us to say it, for us to speak it, for us to live it, because others are watching. And after you have overcome that, now it's for you to help somebody else. Because a lot of times we walk around thinking, I can help you. I'm here to help Janelle with whatever situation she has.
Right,
I'm
right,
here to help
right.
Latanya with whatever situation. And behind
Mhm.
closed doors, I'm dying.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody can
Right.
see what I'm dealing with.
Pretending. That's right. It's called pretending.
It's called
Mm-hmm.
pretending, but it feels like you're dying.
Yeah.
Because when you get in and you get on that floor and you're like,
Yeah.
Lord, sometimes you don't even call the Lord. You're trying to figure it out yourself.
Right.
But it's,
Yeah.
Lord, how can I get up tomorrow and go back out there and is willing to help and walk with that smile when I know I'm struggling to walk, when
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm struggling to make it? So it
Mm-hmm.
starts with you. And whatever your solution might be, whatever it is God has imparted on you, don't look at it as it's just another thing. It's
Mm-hmm.
just another situation. There's a purpose for it. And
Right.
forgiveness did that for me. Forgiveness freed me.
Mm-hmm.
I could
Mm-hmm.
shout that from the mountaintop. from the top
Mm-hmm.
of my stairs, not the mountaintop. I'm not going on the mountaintop, but I can shout that from the top of my stairs. That
Mm-hmm.
forgiveness freed me. It returned my health.
Yes.
It returned my voice. It brought that confidence back. And it's just a spirit that is so different that sometimes I find it hard to explain, but it's a necessary process.
Mm-hmm.
And that is amazing. And I know that we don't have a lot of time, but I want Latanya to touch on how rejection, how her being rejected, even that was a part of the process, even that was necessary to get her to understand her worth and who she is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh my man, Janelle, you must have known what to touch on because I had a little note written on about rejection from my last speaking engagement. I've always felt rejected in all of my relationships. Um Let me say this. When I was a child, I loved entering beauty pageants.
You
And I
did.
probably, yeah, I did. And I entered I entered a local beauty pageant that we would have in my community every year. It was called Little Miss Saudi Luthor. I entered that pageant 3 times. I know three of the times I lost. I didn't win any of the pageants. I 2 times I was first runner up, and the first time I didn't place. Um I felt rejected because back then there was a lot of favoritism. People had who they wanted, who they thought a beauty they had
Deserved to
already
win.
had it in their mind who they thought what they thought a beauty um queen looked like. And I guess for some I didn't fit that description. But hey, so even looking back at that, that's where my confidence came from. My confidence, oh God is so good. My confidence came out of rejection.
Mm,
Hello.
mm.
My
Mhm.
confidence came out of rejection. Um, Although the rejections that I've experienced and that I've encountered hurt a lot, they also made me the woman I am. Listen, right now, nobody can tell. Even if you try to reject me, okay, that's because I have the God gave me my confidence back. He's the great restorer. Okay, let me tell you, to me, I even feel beautiful. As a matter of fact, I know I am, but all of this came out of being rejected. um what else do I want to say? Bim, I realized that my rejections was for my protection.
Come
Hallelujah.
on now.
A lot of those relationships that I was in, I couldn't see it back then, but after I left them, God showed me this is why. And guess what? He's getting ready to bring me into prominence and prestige because of those rejections.
Come on,
I'm not
somebody.
saying this to sound boastful, but what he's going to give me isn't going to be the grade. I mean,
That's right.
the people who rejected me, they ain't gonna be the grade for what he's bringing me.
That's
So I
right.
had to go through those rejections. Um, you know, and that's why I created Know Your Worth Ministries, and that was created out of rejections. So I'm okay. You know what? A lot of times we don't understand why we have to go through things, and it hurts and it's difficult, and you're going to cry a lot, and you're going to feel undervalued, and you're going to feel devalued, and you're going to say, God, why me? But God said, why not you? Because I got a purpose for those rejections that you went
Mhm.
through. That's why I put you through it. You're going to talk to other women about those things that happened in your life. And guess what? I'm going to give you beauty for ashes. I'm going to
Mhm.
give you beauty for ashes. I'm going to bring you into a wealthy place. I'm going to bring you into prevalence. I'm going to bring you into prominence
Mm,
because of those rejections. So if
right.
anybody on this live feed today who have experienced much rejection, just know this. God is getting ready to show out
That's
Yes.
right.
in your life. So don't be disappointed by the rejections. Move on and bless those people who rejected you. Bless them.
Yes.
Say, God, I bless them, for they knew not what they were doing, or they knew or they didn't know who the person that they were doing it, where they would be and who they would be.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Right. That's
That's
right.
So
right.
that is
Well,
my word on rejection.
look here. That's a good way. That's a good way to summarize this whole show today. Alicia shows you how to find your voice after you've been choked with silence because you're too ashamed of what happened to you. Latanya is telling you how the pain of the rejection has actually caused her to be successful. People see the glory, but they don't understand the story that you've been through. And
Mm,
not unless you've read every page of my book. You can't judge my book by the cover, baby, because
mm,
there's more to me than what meets the eye. And so we encourage you as we come on 1 year of chit chat with the Journey Sisters. Listen, we need to hear from you. We need to know how this show has changed and transformed your life. We need to make sure that we share these broadcasts so that the women that need to hear them are able to come in contact with them. A lot of us are connected to women empowerment group and women in business and all this and all of that, women in ministry. We got to go ahead and share these because let me tell you, there is hope. Latanya says all hope is not lost. And if
mhm,
you're looking to find your purpose and you say, look here, I need clarity on my vision. I don't know who I am. I don't know why I'm here. I feel lost. I don't know which way to go. Then you need to call me. You need to inbox Janelle, Life Fulfillment Coach. You can find me on Instagram as Miss Miss_She Inspired. You can find me on Facebook as something. Well, find my name, Janelle Trayton. I have so many different pages, but let me know that you need help and I will get you the coaching you need. Alicia is right there. Some of us are stuck in unforgiveness and you feel like they don't deserve the unforgiveness. Well, you need the peace of mind. So you need to find the strength to forgive. Is it going to be easy? No, it is not, but it is necessary. It is
mhm.
necessary. So, ladies, as we wrap up this show, and I'm pretty sure in the month of October, it is going to be very special. We're going to have a party. You're going to dress in your hat. We're going to have, a little glass of Kool-Aid, soda, whatever you want to toast with. We're going to have a good time and we're going to celebrate 1 year. We're going to try and see how many of our past guests we can get back on, even if it's for 5 minutes, even if we can hold everyone on this stream yard. We're going to do something really special because when you commit to doing something and you have stuck to the vision for 1 year, you are to be celebrated. So, Alicia, let them know where they can find you. And after you, Latanya, let them know how they can find you if they need to find your book. Just let them know how they can reach you guys.
Mhm.
I'll let our guests go first. Go right ahead, Latanya.
Thank you so much, Alicia. Okay, so you can find me, Miss Maynard, on Facebook, Know Your Worth Ministries. That's on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, Know Your Worth Enterprises, well, KYW Enterprises. And my books, you can find them both on Amazon.com. All Hope is Not Lost and Pushing Toward Purpose. You can also go to my website. It's called shopknowyourworth.com. Show me some love this weekend. Shopknowyourworth.com. Thank you, everyone. And then, of course, you can always inbox me on my personal Facebook page, Latanya Bahamian Beauty Maynard.
All
Thank
right.
you so much, Latanya, and it was a pleasure having you here with us today.
Yes.
You can find me as your forgiveness coach. I am on Facebook as She Forgave. You can email me at sheforgave@gmail.com. And I'm also on Instagram as She Forgave One. And I just want you to know, thank you for joining us today. Thank you, audience, for your comments, your support. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to come into your homes. Thank you, ladies, for being so willing to be here for me, to be here with me, and to be as transparent as you have been. We all need each other. We are on this journey together. We're here to support each other. And this would not happen or would not take place without you, without praises, without the Almighty God being there and putting those vision and that love and that situation in our lives, and for us to see it and make it a positive versus a negative. And as your forgiveness coach, you always have to say something. I want you to understand that the spirit of unforgiveness is poisonous.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It is poisonous. And I don't want you to be destroyed emotionally, physically, spiritually, because you refuse to forgive. Forgiveness frees you. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness restores your health. And if you know nothing else, you must understand it is not easy, but
Mm-hmm.
it is necessary. It
Mm-hmm.
was a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you guys next month again on the first Saturday of every month. Next
Mm-hmm.
month is actually going to be 12 months. I asked God for 6 months. He gave me 12. So
Yes.
praise God. And
Mm-hmm.
we will continue reaching out as much as we can. Thank you. And we love you. And you guys have a wonderful month. Thank
Bye bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.
Bye.